Good morning, everyone. This is Russell Rucker, and I'm here for another constitutional talk. And today I thought I'd like to get into a kind of a minor part of our Constitution. A lot of people would think so anyway. And where we're at is in Article 1, Section 5. And it states each house shall keep a journal of its proceedings from time to time, publish the same, excepting such parts as may in their judgment require secrecy. And the yeas and nays of the members of either house on any question shall, at the desire of 1/5 of those present, be entered into the journal. Now, why are we keeping a journal? Well, we're keeping a journal so there's a record of the proceedings. So the citizens can look at the record and make a determination on whether or not they think they're getting decent representation. So it says from time to time. So it's not a strict adherence to it has to be done on the 15th of January or something like that. Okay, so from time to time it must be published. And they're allowing an exception, accepting such parts as may in their judgment require secrecy. Why would you require secrecy? Well, there's several reasons. Like in the convention, for instance, they were trying to lock everything down so people could change their minds and come to a conclusion that might not be what they originally thought, as someone else brought up a reasoning. And that way there would not be a record of the yays and nays. But here, if you have a certain percentage of the Congress asking for yeas and nays, it would have to be required in the proceedings. Another reason would be if you have something discussed that could be a nature of security to the state, and so you don't want it brought up and discussed. Maybe you're discussing treaties, or you're discussing armaments and how much of this or that. So there are different reasons why you would want some secrecy. And I understand everybody wants to know, we have a right to know, and all this kind of thing. But we also have to operate as a country in a way in which we can defend the republic. Now, I have here a book on the journals of the Continental Congress, and this one happens to be from 1781, and this is one of the requirements of the publishing. Now, when they're talking about the record in the convention, they're talking about in the Constitution itself. They're referring to the journals of what they're used to, the Continental Congress. So I just thought I'd open this for a minute and show you how vague this really is. Because it's not as explicit as one would really like it to be if you were actually trying to look things up and come to an understanding of what happened. But here we are. This is April 1781, Tuesday, April 24th, 1781. A letter of November 6th from the Honorable John Jay, and one from Mr. W. Carmichael were read. And adjourned to 10 o'clock tomorrow. So that's what happened on Tuesday. You read a couple of letters, and it does send you to another book where the letters are published. So this is a publishing of the journal. Then we get to Wednesday, April 25th. A letter of 30th November 1780 from Honorable John Jay was read with sundry papers enclosed. Ordered that the same, together with the letter of 6th November, be referred to the committee of three. So they have a committee that's just going through correspondence. Okay, ordered the same together with a letter of November 6th be referred to the committee of three, the members of which are Mr. James Duane, Mr. Samuel Adams, and Mr. James Madison. Now, this is a pretty important committee, don't you think? You got Samuel Adams, the firebrand of the Revolution, and you've got Mr. James Madison, who would become the father of the Constitution. So you really got an important committee here. Mr. Nicholas Evely, a delegate from the state of South Carolina, attended and took his seat. A letter of 21 March from Brigadier General Moultrie to the delegates of South Carolina was read, enclosing a letter of the 31st of January from Thomas Hayward and an affidavit of Thomas Johnson and James McQueen. So this gives you an idea of what would be in a journal of Congress. It gives you an idea of what occurred, but the specifics are a little light. Unless you really want to dig deep into going to the other volumes, showing where the letters themselves and read through it. But it's there. And in the convention, they thought it was important enough to require a publishing of the official record of Congress, of both branches individually. So each branch of the legislature would have to print the proceedings of the House in such a manner as they would deem appropriate. They are also given the ability to have their own rules and this kind of thing as we set up Congress. The records are important because it creates an official document. It creates an official record. The journal is an official record of the Continental Congress. And they wanted to continue this practice, so give you a better idea of what actually was going on in Congress. Today in Congress, there's a lot more activity and a lot more going on because the government is so much bigger and broader than what it was in the Continental Congress. So you've got a lot more proceedings. You've got a lot of times things are written into the record. They want it stated so it would be written into the official record. But here we have an idea, I think, of what our founders wanted when they wanted a journal printed. Because here is the record, and in 1787, they'd be referring back to the journals in their discussions and talking about specific things that occurred. And it gives you an idea of what exactly they meant it to be. So I hope you understand that section. I know it's not one we refer to often, but I think it's important to understand all aspects of our Constitution. With that said, I hope you have a good day. I'll catch you next week on the next Constitution Talk. This is Russell Rucker. Please subscribe to my channel. Follow me so that we can actually build and grow the channel. Thank you so much for your time, and we'll catch you next time on the next Constitutional Talk.